Hello, everybody. I will wait a little bit because I know there are a few people eagerly anticipating this live. It has been something that I have spoken about before, and I have dropped small comments about this, and I have written a blog, but I have not posted it because I knew it was going to be something that causes quite the stir. And this is a topic that is, hi everybody, hey Claudia. It's something that I talk about all the time and is always brought up in all of my groups, in Badass School, in the Badass Support Group. Hello Angela, hi Tasha, hi Kayla, hi Jane, hi everybody. You poured a glass of wine for this. Yeah, I'm gonna go in. Yeah, so this is something that's brought up all the time in my one-on-one coaching sessions with people. I get emails about this. When my family group is open, we talk about this all the time. It's just something that I get questions about all the time. And every time I mention this, you guys love it and your uplines hate it. But I'm going to address all of that today. We are going to talk about, finally, probably after like 6 to 12 months of behind the scenes discussion about this, I'm going to talk about copy-paste messages. And I'm going to talk about network marketers sending copy-paste messages and why it has to stop. And please bear with me. If you are somebody who coaches out sending copy-paste messages, you built your business sending copy-paste messages, you want to fight me because I'm telling your teams not to send copy-paste messages, it's the only thing you know, sending copy-paste messages, just bear with me. Just give me a chance to explain why they have to go die right now. And it's funny because, Lord Jesus, yes. I actually was on stage at a national conference last year, and in my speech was all about, or my training was all about generational adaptability, which really was all about prospecting, which I hope, by the way, you're excited because I have recorded my prospecting module. I actually recorded it yesterday on how to build a team, how to prospect, how to communicate, how to move through exposures, like the entire thing. And there is not one copy-paste message in that system. So I will be releasing that training hopefully this week. You'll all have access to it. So that will back up this topic really, really well, because it's going to give you like a what you can do instead. So copy-paste messages. No, just no. And when I said on stage in front of like 3,000 people that it was time to officially kill copy-paste messages in the network marketing industry, I swear to God you could hear a pin drop in the conference center, and then maybe like 20% of the crowd cheered. And I was like, that's probably the 20% that have tried it my way and it's worked for them. And I just want to say, and pretense is to say, I know that copy-paste messages work for you. I know that. I know because statistically speaking, talking to X amount of people, you're going to have a percentage of people be interested in what you have. You're going to have a percentage of people say yes. You're going to have a percentage of people open your messages. I understand that completely. I'm not doubting, and I'm not saying that copy-paste messages do not work. That's not what I'm here to say. What I am here to actually maybe give you a different perspective on is, what about the people that don't say yes to your copy-paste messages? So my whole point of view on this, and keep in mind, guys, I have been in the network marketing industry for 6 years, actively running my business for 6 years. I am still in the network marketing industry running my business actively. So I am in it. I am in the trenches doing exactly what you're doing. I have seen the industry change over 6 years. And no, I haven't been in it 30 years, 40 years, 20 years. And I'm actually really grateful because a lot of the people that I see promoting sending copy-paste messages have been in the industry 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They tend to be of an older generation. And keep in mind, my business, my network marketing business, everything I do in life is focused around Gen Y. So Gen Y are the people that I understand. They're me. They're the people that you want in your business because we are the next generation coming into the industry. We're coming into the workforce. We are powerful. And if you want to choose to ignore us and pretend we're not here, you're just fucking with your own business. And I know you'll be upset that I just said fuck because you hate swearing, you hate curse words, and I get it. But again, the world is changing and you can either embrace it or you can keep doing what you're doing and what was working 10 years ago, and it's not working anymore. It's not. And what's happening is when people are sending out the same messages that were working 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago, even 3 years ago, there's been a huge shift, I think, over the last 2 years. And what's happening is the messages that were working for you are no longer working. Social media has changed everything. The fact that we've actually had such a boom in the network marketing industry. In Australia, 1 in 5 households are now involved in network marketing. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's literally billions of people involved in network marketing now where there weren't before. So the days of pyramid schemes are gone, right? But the days of fast recruitment are here. And what I see a lot of other network marketing leaders promote and share and train and coach on is send hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages out to people. And what the basis of this whole theory is that out of those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages, some people will say yes. And I get it. But what you're doing is when you're sending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages, let's say 5% of people say yes, or 20% if you've got a good conversion say yes. What about the other 80%, the other 95%, the other percentage of people who've not said yes? What's happened is you've now come into their inbox unannounced and you have become spam. Copy-paste messages are the spam and the junk mail of network marketing. And what happens is you come unannounced into people's worlds, usually people that you don't even know. And I get this all the time and it blows my mind that people bother to message me when I'm so public about what I do because they haven't looked at my profile. They haven't even opened up my Facebook profile. They haven't looked at my Instagram. They haven't bothered to do any research. They have no idea who I am. And they're sending me these messages, inviting me to check out their essential oils, to jump on their travel company. Well, I work in a skincare, nutrition, makeup business. I get people actively trying to sell me skincare, makeup, and nutrition. And it pisses me off. Like, it's straight up, it pisses me off. And then what happens when I respond to this person, I used to just delete them. But now I'm like, no, now I'm on a mission. So I respond to this person. I say, hey, thanks for your message. Did you happen to check out my profile? Oh, no, I didn't. I just loved your vibe, or I saw that you were an entrepreneur, or like bullshit. And I'm like, did you happen to look at my profile? Can you tell me what I actually do for work? So I'm getting them to look at my profile, and they go, oh, you're in network marketing, because my cover photo is me speaking on stage in my network marketing conference. And I ask them to do the research. And usually what happens is this. They go, oh, well, if you want to switch, I would love to have you in my team. Or if you want to try something else, I would love to send you product. Straight away, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The reason it pisses me off and the reason that you sending copy-paste messages pisses other people off is because you've made it about you. You're actively trying to use somebody to build your business. I get messages from people overseas, from companies launching to Australia. Hey, I have this great opportunity for you. You're Australian, right? And I'm like, listen, do you know anything about me? Do you know what I do for work? Do you know that I actively coach on ethical business in the network marketing industry? And I just got off stage telling people that copy-paste messages have to go die. No, you don't, because you didn't do your research. So you have to understand that if you're sending out these copy-paste messages without looking at who you're sending them to, without actually contextualizing them, without doing your research, without any sort of context or effort, you have to understand that one of the risks associated with that is that you're actively pissing people off. So yes, you might get a few people say, sure, send me some information, and every now and then you'll get somebody sign up from there. But the question that I'm asking you as well is, what kind of people are you actually signing up like that? What kind of relationship do you have with this person? What kind of trust? What are you actually showing them about how this business works? How is that going to be duplicable? Because ultimately, a lot of the time, I think, and I cover this in the prospecting module that's launching soon, is that you want to be doing life with these people that you're inviting into your business. You don't just want to recruit people and have them quit, because when people quit network marketing, they tend to have something negative to say about you, about the business, about the industry, about the product, about your company. So what you're actively doing is actively destroying the network marketing industry's reputation and name. You're making network marketing become spam. And so what happens when network marketing is spam in the public eye is that when people like me, or people I coach, or my team, or if you're not doing copy paste, or even if you are doing copy paste, what happens is that when you go to approach somebody about network marketing, about the business, or about the product, they've now got a negative perception. So instead of starting at zero and being able to build a relationship and making it a positive experience, we have to work harder to get people from negative, from bad experiences, up to zero, where they'll even consider talking to you or listening to you, to actually understanding the business and actually being able to see how it could benefit them. So by you sending out these hundreds of messages, just think about every single person that ignores your message, deletes your message, goes, ugh, another fucking network marketer. You've now made it harder for the next person that goes to talk to that person to actually run their business. And in turn, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your team. It's going to affect your community, your networks, my team, my company. It affects all of us. And I've had so many of these conversations with you now where I say we have to do better. I realize it's so easy to send out a copy paste message. I get it. It is. But that's not building a business. That's not learning how to communicate with people. That's not learning how to understand their need. And ultimately, guys, if you want to call yourself an entrepreneur, and you know how I feel about that, we are not entrepreneurs, we are intrapreneurs. But if you want to call yourself an entrepreneur or a business owner, for fuck's sake, learn how to run a business. And that includes finding clientele. It includes keeping clientele. It includes recruiting a legitimate team of business owners. And when you're sending copy-paste messages to random people, you don't know who you're contacting. You don't know who you're bringing into your business. You don't know who is going to represent you. You don't know who you are bringing in to represent your team. And you don't know who you are bringing into our industry. And I'd like to please ask you to have some class about you, and to please protect our industry, protect your business, protect your reputation, because when you're bringing on these people, they do represent you. And the next time I have somebody send me a copy-paste message, damn right I track them back to you. I know who you are. I know the teams that are sending out these messages. I know what you're being told to do, because I'm the one that's being approached with it. And imagine if it's pissing me off and I'm in the industry and I understand the background noise and the background theory behind it. Can you imagine how people who are not in our industry feel? Do you really believe that by you sending them a message, a copy-paste message, without any kind of relationship building, it's gonna make them want to do the same thing? Remember that network marketing is based on the theory that we follow somebody who's done it before us. That's why we become successful. It's based on the theory that it's about our networks. We're an open book. You are your business. How you represent yourself in life is how your business is going to run. And people are constantly watching you. I can't tell you how many people I've had approach me off social media who have been watching me for years. Years. They've been watching me and analyzing me to see how I run my business. And the reason they approached me is because they've been cautious about network marketing. They've been approached many times before. They've seen people post spammy messages on their Facebook page. They've seen people do selly stuff. And they've noticed that I'm still in business. 6 years later, I haven't quit. I seem to be doing well. And I never do the salesy stuff. So they go, shit, if she's doing it that way and she's successful, surely I can do it that way and be successful. So I attract a group of people who are not going to annoy people. They're not salesy. They're willing to work hard. They're willing to be persistent, and they're willing to be coached by me because they've watched how I run my business. So what example are you setting when you are sending these copy-paste messages? So guys, do you understand sort of where I'm going with this and why it's so important? Because we're getting to a stage now where there's so many people doing this, and there's so many people mass marketing to people, that you're actually losing your relevance, and you're actually losing the connection that you have with people. And it's pissing people off, and it's affecting my business, and I'm done. Like, you're annoying me, you have to stop. Please, like, stop, because you're making it harder for me and my team and everybody that I want to succeed in this business. You don't need to send copy-paste messages, guys. What you do need to do is actually start to get off your ass and not be lazy and go out and meet people and network and build relationships and give it time. I understand how sexy it is to go straight to the top of a company and you think you're successful, but guys, that's not success. getting to the top of something or building something is not success. Staying there is success. Staying there. So who are you following? How long have they been in business? Are they actively still running their business? What's their fallout rate? What kind of culture do they have? Are they even involved in their business, or are they sitting at the top just collecting the money? Who are you following? Are they still relevant? Are they aware of the changes? Are you asking yourself all these questions before you just straight up go and follow that person because they're sending copy-paste messages? And I tell you what, right now, there is a huge gap in leadership. There's a top layer of network marketers that probably got there about 10 years ago, between 5 and 10 years ago. They got to the top level of their company. There's a massive gap where things shifted in the industry. Pyramid schemes no longer happened. Social media happened. There was more of an emphasis on authenticity, on relationship building. There's a gap, right? And then there's another layer of leaders who have seen that and they've gone, fuck, I don't want to do what they did. I don't want to send the copy-paste messages. I don't want to harass people. I don't want to just keep asking. I want to actually build relationships with people and have an authentic business. And this layer, it's not as sexy, because it's legitimate business and it takes time to build relationships. And unfortunately, we have to deal with all the shit that was dropped from all of these spammy messages and from all of these like pushy sales techniques. Guys, I have heard horror stories. When I first started in my business, I had people in my city that were in network marketing and they sold vouchers on Groupon. And if you don't know Groupon, it's like one of those things where you get like sales and deals and stuff like that. And what they were selling, I think, was like a makeup masterclass where you got champagne. I think you were meant to get a free brush set. I don't know, whatever. It was sold as a really cool event. I actually wanted to buy them because it sounded really prestige and classy. Now, what actually happened was this person had hired out a hotel room and they had invited people who had they'd bought tickets to this event. And what they actually did was a network marketing group presentation, a sales presentation. And the very words of this person, and I know this because clients of mine went to this event, they bought tickets, they were deceived, and they came back to me saying, I'm sorry, but if this is what your company does, I can never have anything to do with it ever again. I cannot purchase products from you anymore. So what actually happened is that they did this group presentation, sold it as this masterclass, whatever it was meant to be, and before the clients were allowed to leave, the closing sentence of this person, and I heard this from multiple of my clients, was, so, what are you going to buy? And the people were not allowed to leave the room until they'd purchased something. So now they paid for this event. They, I think, got one glass of champagne. They never got the brush set. They ended up at a network marketing group presentation and they were pressured to purchase. Great. So now I had to work triple as hard to rebuild the trust, rebuild the relationship. I had to go over and above. I was running around, dropping things off, going over and above, trying to win back my client's trust because somebody else had wanted to get to the top faster. Do you understand how your actions impact and influence the rest of us? And that's just one story. Guys, even the copy-paste messages, I have people now screenshot it and send it to me because they know what I do and they laugh at it. But it's not really that funny when the rest of us this is our sole income. For a lot of network marketers now, this is our sole income and we rely on us running a classy business. So please reconsider before you send a copy-paste message. Now, let me address something else because I know a lot of you are thinking, well, but you have to communicate with people. You have to connect. You have to ask. Yes, absolutely. You 100% have to ask, and you have to ask a lot of people. It's not about just not saying anything. What I am saying is please identify who you actually want to talk to and why you want to talk to them. Figure out their need first. Connect with them and build a relationship with them. And only once you actually understand how the business can help, or if you're going to straight up ask for their help, be honest and ask for their help. But don't try and flick the message and make it so like you're helping them when really you need them. Just be honest with people. And if you're wanting to connect with your warm market, for example, just say to them, hey babe, like I'm at a stage in my business. I need new clients. Like I'd love to show you what I do and that way maybe you could refer me. Just be honest with people because when you're sending people these messages that make no sense to them, they're not relevant to them, they know they're not relevant to them. They really do. And I know a lot of uplines say to their teams, well, and I heard this today, well, it's only spammy from your end because that person doesn't know that you've sent it to 300 other people. Well, they kind of do. Because when it comes out of the blue, it has no relevance to them and it's not personal. We kind of know what a copy-paste message looks like. And also their friends probably got it too, because you've been told to go through all of their friends list and send it to them too. So just keep in mind, people are not stupid when you're sending these. So when you do have those 100-person challenges, because I hear it all the time, we have a 30 and 30 challenge, what do I do? We have a 100-person challenge, what do I do? I don't want to send the copy-paste messages, I feel ick. Good, don't send the copy-paste messages. Get your list of people and go through and work out who they are and why you're contacting them, and then actually take the time to actually contact them legitimately. Just don't send the fucking copy-paste messages. It doesn't help anyone, and it just destroys the rest of your business for the future. It might work temporarily. People might purchase the product once just to shut you up, or they might say yes to the business because they happen to be in that time of their life. But then long term, how does that make your business look, and how is that going to make them feel, and how are they going to learn how to operate a business when that's your only tool? Send a copy-paste message. That's only going to work short term, because it's not relationship building. You're actually not building a network. And then what I see people do is, once they've burned through their network, they've sent the copy-paste messages, which, by the way, what do you do after that? Like, how do you follow up from that, and how do you save a relationship? Like, once you've sent the message once and they've ignored you, what are you meant to do? Continue to harass them? Because that's what people are doing. They're continuing to harass the same people, right? It's just not smart. So then what's happening is, when people run out of the people to harass because they get blocked or deleted or unfollowed, or people just avoid them, they actually start contacting randoms, like literal randoms. I had somebody contact me from a skincare company that was launching into Australia recently, and I had no connections with her. So when she sent me the copy-paste message, I replied back and I said, "Hi, do you mind me asking, how did you actually find me?" And she couldn't tell me. She's like, "Oh, you just popped up I don't know how she found me." There was literally no connection. And when I then asked her why she was contacting me, she said, "Well, I've got this great opportunity. We're launching to Australia. I'd love your contacts and connections." I was like, "What do you mean you'd love my contacts and connections? Like, for you to prospect my networks?" And she said, yeah. And I was like, "You do realize I'm in network marketing and I work within my networks. I build my networks. It takes me a lot of time and effort and energy to build relationships. You'd like me just to give you my contacts?" She's like, yeah. And I was like, "Do you mind me asking, how does this technique work for you? This copy-paste thing?" She goes, "Oh, great. I met this Australian girl." I was like, "Okay, but what about the rest of the people that are not replying?" I said, "Because to be honest, you're pissing me off." And she proceeded to have a full-on fight with me. "You are so mean. You might be pretty on the outside, but you're ugly on the inside," like digging into me. And I was like, "I'm confused though. You sent me a copy-paste message out of the blue. You came into my inbox unannounced, unexpected, wanting to use me, and I'm not allowed to tell you that you've pissed me off." I said, "You do understand that the technique that you're using, this is what people feel and think, they're just not saying it to you." I said, "This is what you're doing to the network marketing industry. It'd be really great if you just stopped." Anyway, she had a go at me. I stood my ground. We ended the conversation. But people don't know. Like, the people you're sending these messages to, that's how they feel. They're just not saying it. They're saying it to somebody else behind your back. That person that you're also going to go contact randomly, and they're going to ignore you too. So guys, I think I've made my point. And if you're not in network marketing, I'm sure you're like cheering right now, saying, "Thank God I don't have to feel weird around these people anymore." And if you are in network marketing, yes, relationship building takes longer. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Because the people that you're actually introducing to your business from copy-paste messages are not the kinds of person you want to work with anyway. So I have a module coming out soon. It should be this week. I've just got to actually put it all together. It's been recorded. I recorded it yesterday. It's awesome. It's super in-depth about how you can actually go and prospect. I go through everything from how to identify them, how to attract them, how to meet them, how to communicate, how to build a relationship, what to say, what not to say, how to move them through exposures, how to close. Like, I literally go through everything in huge detail. It's a large module, so you're going to need to take some time to like digest it. But just know there is another way. If you have been told to send copy-paste messages and you have been feeling like there is another way, I guarantee there is. I have built my entire business without sending copy-paste messages. And in the beginning, I did send copy-paste messages because I didn't know any better, and it destroyed all the relationships around me. So I've learned the hard way. So you don't have to make the same mistake. So guys, do you have any questions? Any objections? Anyone that still thinks that copy-paste messages are an awesome idea and you'd like to, I'm not going to say fight me on it, because this year I made a resolution not to fight people. I'm just going to let you do your thing. But does anybody have any questions about this entire topic? Let me go through and read some of these comments. Thanks for this, Bella. I can't wait for your next module this week. It's going to be like freaking Christmas morning. Boom shakalaka. Yes, it is. Super excited about this. Thank you. Sending so much love. Thank you for your honesty. Amaze balls. New hair. I know. I'm back to the dark side. This was like Kata circa 2010. Can't wait. Yes, girl. Amen. The amount of people that spam their personal page and then just randomly add people, I know. And especially with social media, guys, you have to remember that social media is one of the most powerful platforms for building a network marketing business, but it relies on you being likable, approachable, trustworthy, people wanting to be around you. So if you're doing something that annoys people, I guarantee they're not going to want to do the same. They don't want to make other people feel how you're making them feel. Remember that. Okay. Yes, they do know, because so many companies are doing a form of this. It's the same with Facebook posts of let's see who will click, like, and comment, or the Facebook algorithm post. I know, they're so spammy. I get added to people's Facebook groups without even being asked. It's so annoying. I know. Please don't do that. That's the other thing. The Facebook adds into these event groups and just random pages. I still get added. I'm like, fuck off. Like, no, I don't want to like your business page. I'm in the same freaking company. Like, why would I want to follow you? It shows that the people running these businesses are not putting any effort or focus. They're not taking any care in running their businesses. They're just kind of doing it. And to me, that says it's not about other people. It's about you. You're actually trying to use people. And people know that. And they don't want to do what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And they don't want to follow you because they don't trust you, because you're not showing any interest in their lives. So in the prospecting module as well, I also talk about the exact conversations you can have and questions you can ask to actually get to know somebody so you don't feel weird about it. Because I think a lot of the reason people send these copy-paste messages is because they just don't know what to say. So you guys know a lot of the training that I do, a lot of the coaching I do is based on verbiage and the mindset behind it. So I don't actually tell you specifically what to say. I give you ideas and things that work for me, but I teach you how to think, essentially. So definitely look forward to that. Long-term, your business is going to flop. Yeah, with copy-paste messages, 100%. So annoying when my friends, new prospects that I've been building with, get those messages from someone who they don't know. It ruins all your hard work. Totally. Totally. Guys, we have to band together as an industry. Like, we need to support each other. Really. We really need to support each other and realize that what you do impacts everybody else. You make me feel like I can be me in this business. I can't tell you how relieved I am to hear you saying these things. Thank you. Aww. Well, thank you for being here and for tuning in. Not classy. No, wow. Oh my God, you're nailing this, girlfriend. Completely agree. Thank you. Serious manipulative shit. It's sad. Yeah, it totally is. Absolutely. It's all about authenticity. Do what sits well with you. Yes. And ultimately, you want to attract a team that you want to work with, that you get along with. And if you don't have a relationship with the people you're inviting into your business, if you don't know anything about them, like, just think about this. Some people never quit. You will be in a relationship longer, most likely, with your business partners in network marketing than you will with your friends, with people that you date. And like, how much effort do you go into screening your friends and like guys and girls that you date? Think about that, and think about how much effort you want to put into people that financially are going to be connected to you, that you are responsible for, that you have to sit with at events, at conferences, travel with, earn incentive trips with. Like, they represent you. Like, think about that, because some people never quit. And frankly, like, the people that I got in my business with copy-paste messages were just so much more work than was really worth it. I kind of wish some of them had never joined my business. But it's my fault, because I didn't bother actually building a relationship, educating them, screening them, doing things properly. I didn't know any better at the time. I want to scream this from the rooftops. Die, copy, paste. This is awesome. Okay, let me go back down. Okay, questions. Here we go. Where are your questions? Here we go. Wow, there's so many. Can't wait for your next module. Yep. I find running my business so much easier and way more comfortable when I just focus on building relationships. Totally, 100%. How much flack do you get from your company for saying this? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? When I stood on stage and said this, I literally felt like I was going to get shot. It was very uncomfortable, because I know it's a major technique in a lot of people's businesses, and I understand why. And I don't want to attack anyone. Like, I really don't want people to think that I'm sitting here thinking I'm awesome and I'm attacking them and I know better. That's not what this is about at all. So like, I'm not trying to attack you. If you're someone that's sent copy paste messages and that's what you train and coach out, I just want to give you the other perspective of what's happening behind the scenes, because I am the person that people come to when they feel uncomfortable with your techniques. And I'm the person that has to think of an alternative way to coach them so they don't quit your teams. And honestly, the messages that I get in my private inbox and direct message in Instagram, most of them are, "Dear Kata, thank you for doing what you do. I was going to quit my business, but now you've shown me another way. I want to keep going." So just understand that what I'm teaching is not about me thinking I'm better. What I'm trying to do is allow people to run their businesses in a way that feels more authentic and genuine to them, so they don't quit your team, so they don't quit your company, so they continue to work, so they keep going. So that's the intention behind this. So please don't think that I'm here arguing and picking fights and battles, because that's not what I want to do at all. I'm just so sick of hearing these poor people suffering because they don't feel comfortable sending these copy paste messages, and hearing my friends say, "Fuck, I don't know how you do network marketing. All I get is copy paste messages in my inbox." Like, I'm protecting myself, but I'm also protecting you. So if we can, as an industry, just stop doing that just stop doing it. Stop sending copy paste messages. If we can stop doing that and turn more to building relationships, yes, it's going to be slower, but the people that you get will actually want to be in your team. They won't quit. They're not going to be hard to work with. They're going to want to be there. You're going to get a higher caliber of person. So just think about that. Any good way to tell your upline how you feel when they say you're not being coachable? Just be honest, I assume. Yeah, I get this a lot too. I get a lot of uplines hate me. I'm sorry. I think just be honest and say, "Look, I just want to try a different approach. I'm really not comfortable sending copy paste messages. It hasn't worked for me. I'd really like to try just building relationships. I'm happy to do the 100-person challenge, but I'm going to go build relationships with 100 people. So it might take me longer, but this is my business and this is really how I'd like to operate. And ultimately, I'm going to stick with it. And I know I'm going to grow my business, but I just like to try it my way." And you can't fuck up. Like, what are they supposed to say? "No, don't go build relationships." Like, what? No, they can't really argue with that, because building relationships is the way to build any business. Your net worth is your network. And any business owner knows that it's your relationships that actually are going to help you. Let's see. I'm part of like 10 top web pages I never asked to be part of. Yeah. As soon as somebody adds me to their party or group or event or business page, I delete them off my Facebook. Sorry. I never asked to be in your group. Don't invite me. Okay. Is this module available for purchase, or where do we get it when it's done? Need. No, it's not available yet. I recorded it yesterday. I've just got to put it together. I've got to put out all my emails and stuff like that this week. So today, my next job is to actually put it together. So you might see it today, but definitely in this week, it will be available. How long do you find it takes you to build relationships and prospect this way? I know you have a much stronger tribe. Yeah, look, I find with this technique, you get less people, but they're better quality. So I do probably the same amount of volume as someone with hundreds and hundreds of people, and I might maybe have like 50 active consultants. So you actually get more with less, and the people that you work with are quality. They're amazing. They're incredible humans, and you don't get that fallout, and you don't get a lot of inactive consultants either. So how long does it take? It really depends. And again, in the prospecting module, I go through all the different exposures that I use and how to sort of ascertain what you need to do next. And as well, guys, if you want, in my systems ebook, so katasir.com/download katas-systems-ebook or book. I don't know, I'll find the link. But if you want to read through that in the meantime, it goes through my prospecting and follow-up system as well. Time is different for everybody. And again, I go through this in my prospecting module, but it's circumstantial for people. It's their own time. It's their own circumstances. When I was first introduced to network marketing, I didn't have a need for it. So it didn't matter how long, my sponsor built a relationship with me, because I didn't have a need for it. When my situation and my circumstances changed, because she had built a relationship with me, that's why I listened and that's why I was interested. She made it relevant to me at the right time. She was not in control of that time. My dad got diagnosed with cancer. That's what changed for me. Like, it wasn't something I was in control of. It wasn't something she was in control of. She just happened to have built a relationship with me. So when I needed this business, she knew it because she was building a relationship with me. She knew me. She understood me. She knew what I needed. And she offered it to me at the right time. So I don't find that there's a time frame of building a relationship. Everybody's different, and even if you've built a relationship with that person, they may not have a need for the business at that time or a need for the product at that time. But definitely building relationships where people like you, they trust you, they feel safe around you, they know you're not spammy, they know you're not trying to get them in their business. Just having friendships with people is the most effective thing you can do, because then when their situation changes or somebody they know has a need for it, they'll come directly to you. So I've always said to people, I will be the last one standing. Like, I want people, when they think of my company name in my demographic and my location, I want them to think of me. So I spend a lot of time out socially just meeting people and just networking and getting to know people, and building relationships. That's all we do. Okay, it's about moving with change and understanding different generations. Yeah. I think what you're saying is great. Makes people feel they can be themselves. It is. And you know what? It is generational. And I do understand it's hard for an older demographic to reach down to Gen Ys and millennials. But that's why you need to use people like me and like us, like use a younger generation and ask, you know, what's working, what's not. Things have to constantly change. Now, I understand that network marketing is built on systems, and that you need to follow the system. I 100% agree with that. But that system also has to grow and adapt and change as society changes. Like, we're not the same society we were 10 years ago. Like, there was no Instagram and Tinder and Snapchat and a whole bunch of different apps and technologies that was around when a lot of these systems were developed. So I think you need to use a younger demographic and ask for their feedback, and sort of swallow your ego a little bit and allow us to work with you. Because yes, 20 years of experience is so powerful, but so are fresh eyes. So I think there needs to be better relationships built between teams and between leaders and mentors too. And if you are a leader, just be aware that a lot of the people that come to me because they don't feel comfortable going to their leader because they've been shut down before. Or when they voiced that they're not comfortable with something in the system, the leaders just told them that they're wrong, or that they just need to trust the system, or they just need to keep going or keep asking. So I want to urge you, if you are a leader, please be the kind of leader that your team feels open to coming to you. Because if they feel open to coming to you, they don't need to come to me. And if you have an issue with your teams coming to me, I mean, I'm sorry, but they're coming to me because they don't feel comfortable coming to you. So also think about that perspective too. Okay, let's see. God, there's so many comments. Wow. Any more questions? When is the module available? This week. Quality over quantity, 100%. My previous company did the copy-paste 100-person list, which burnt a lot of relationships. My current company is all about relationship building, so you're completely correct. Awesome. And it's a really good experience to have as well. I think it's good to be on both sides of the fence where you know what it feels like to be sent a copy-paste message, because it just kind of makes you feel ick and annoyed. Yeah, so it's a valuable experience. Okay, what is a good way to now go back to those people who you may have previously copy-pasted years ago? Clearly, they can see that there was a message there before. Yeah, I did this the other day. I found somebody that I saw her Facebook post pop up, and I was like, God, I haven't spoken to her in years. Opened up Messenger to message her about, like, how are you? And I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, the last message I had sent her was, I think, the week that I opened my business, and it was this huge, long essay copy-paste message that I had sent to everybody that was on my Facebook page, being like, I've opened this business, you should support me. It was awful. Like, it was awful. It was so embarrassing. And I basically think there's one of two ways you can do. One, you can confront it and be like, hey babe, look, I've just checked my messages. I'm so sorry for sending you that big long copy-paste message. I've learned better ways to run systems, but I'm really sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. How are you going? And move on to building a relationship. Or the second way, just ignore the fact you ever sent that message, which is what I did because it was literally 6 years ago. And I was like, hey, how are you? And I started from building a relationship from scratch. So you can either go and say, I'm so sorry, or just build a relationship and ignore the fact that it was ever there. Okay, are you referring to the 30 and 30 idea that we have? I think it's okay to use that as long as you're personalizing each message. Yes. Yes, definitely. I think it's fine to contact 30 people, 30 days, 100 people, 100 days. Personalize it. Make it about them. A lot of the time, the people on your 100-person or 30-person list, they're not at that stage of exposures or relationships or connection point where you can offer them something. You don't know what they need. So when you offer something too quickly, it comes across as unauthentic. So definitely do your 30 and 30s, but just be aware of who you're contacting, why, where they're at with the relationship building. Definitely go for it, but just don't send those copy-paste messages that have no relevance and they're just not relevant to the person you're talking to. Do you still get your tribe to do 100 active person candidate list when they join the business? Yes and no. I get people to look for people that would need the business or the product, or that would have networks for the business and the product. But then each person we go and we approach individually. So I sit with my team members and we go, okay, why does this person need the business? What's their life like? In my prospecting module that comes that's coming through, I have each of the questions that I actually get them to ask themselves, and they basically create this little profile about this person, about why they would need it, where the relationship is, and then we take the next step and go, okay, so how are you going to connect with this person? Where is your relationship at? Can you actually go ahead and talk to them about the business, or do you need to build a relationship? Do you need to find out more information? So it is about personalizing it. So yes, be aware of who is in your network, where they're at, what their needs and requirements are, what their networks are at, but then you have to go and approach people individually. This is just so good. Thank you for sharing. Great. Is it an individual purchase or an extension on the 6 steps to awesomeness? It is individual. So it has been a module that's not done before. It's not in Badass School. There's a mini version of it, like a little 3-minute one that I did years ago when I first opened Kata the brand, that you can access from my homepage. It's a part of the 3 free videos that you get when you sign up to katasir.com. So there's a mini one there, but this is the first time I've actually gone in depth, prospecting step by step. It's a very in-depth training. I look back at some of the messages I've sent and cringe. Yeah, me too. Say a genuine sorry. Yeah, I've seen that 5 years ago. Okay, any more questions? No, we're good. All right, guys. So hopefully I haven't offended anybody, and hopefully you understand my intention behind this live. And hopefully I've been able to help you. And if you have sort of felt weird about copy-paste messages, now you know there is another way to do things. And I am releasing that module within the week, so you can use that if you don't have a good coaching system. If you don't know how to do it, you can definitely just follow along with that. Okay. Question, I totally get what you're saying, but what is the difference in building a relationship when the motive is to offer them the business anyway? That can be perceived as building a fake relationship. I'm not against in sending messages to people in your network to invite them to look at the opportunity. I built a successful business with their approach. Obviously, we personalize the messages, but don't see anything wrong with using a script. Totally. Okay, so I knew this would come up. There's a difference between a copy-paste message and a script or a breakdown of how you need to communicate, because there absolutely is effective ways to communicate, and that's scripted. 100% get that. I'm not saying don't use a script. I'm not saying don't ask. I'm not saying don't reach out. That's absolutely a part of your success in business. You cannot build a business without actually offering the business. And sometimes you'll still get a yes, sometimes you'll still get a no. My point with this whole video is don't send spammy copy-paste messages without thinking. That's basically it. Don't send them to people that you don't know, who you don't have a relationship with. There is a way and a step-by-step process and a scripted way to build relationships too. And ultimately, I think the whole authentic versus unauthentic bit, yes, of course you want to build a business. Yes, of course you want to, enroll a team. That's always going to be there. But I think the difference between sending a copy-paste message and being unauthentic and actually getting to know someone, building a relationship, using, scripts and making them suit better is firstly your intentions. People feel intentions. And secondly, it's actually listening to that person and allowing them to step out of that process. When you send someone a copy-paste message, you've actually forced it on them. You haven't allowed them to be a part of the conversation and to actually express interest in hearing more and moving to the next exposure. So this is more about people that send a message, they send another copy-paste message. It's forceful. You haven't been invited into that person's world. You haven't been invited into that person's life. You've just kind of decided that they need the business or decided that they need the product without bothering to have the conversation with them first. So totally understand what you're saying. I'm not against scripts. I'm not against 30 and 30 challenges. I'm not against actually running your business and asking. I'm not against having the intention to find a team. My point with this is the blast hundreds of copy-paste messages that are getting sent out at the moment, this very minute, every single day in this industry from multiple different companies and teams that's ruining the chance for the rest of us actually being able to connect and build a relationship. So hopefully that helps. Does that answer your question? And does that sort of clarify? Because I don't want to, I need you to fully understand what I'm saying and not sort of misconstrue it. Because again, I'm not attacking people. I'm not saying to people don't connect. It's just how you connect. Okay, I think we're good. Guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to message me. Make sure you follow my new Instagram as well. I have a new Instagram. It's at Kata the brand. Yes, okay, thanks for clarifying, because some people can watch this in our teams and be demotivated to do the challenge. No, I covered it before. I actually said do your challenges, but just make it personal. So actually just be aware of who you're talking to. That's all I'm saying. Go do the 100 people challenges, do the 30 people challenges. Definitely, use the context and the script and understand that your coaches, most likely, if they know what they're doing, are coaching you to speak in a specific way and ask specific questions. Totally. But what I'm saying is understand who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, get to know them before you offer them the business, and just don't send out rote copy-paste messages, because that's just destroying the industry for all of us. And we're at a stage now where it really is making it really, really hard for us to actually go in and build relationships with people, because people's minds are closed to network marketing. The more of those out of the blue, random, non-relevant copy-paste messages they get. So, all right, guys. I love you. This has been a very long live, but share it with people that need to see it. And hope you don't take offense. Hope you understand where I'm coming from. If you have questions, want to talk more about it, absolutely more than happy to go for it. So love you guys. And get excited for that prospecting module coming this week. Mwah. Bye.